Well, 3 men have been found guilty in one of the country's biggest ever cases of pokie machine fraud. Michael O'Brien, Paul Max and Kevin Coffey faced a raft of charges relating to pokie licences granted by the Department of Internal Affairs, including fraudulently obtaining gaming licences. Paloma Magoni filed this report from the High Court in Wellington.
After having his own company's pokie licence revoked in 2005, Michael O'Brien dishonestly obtained licences by getting others to set up companies to apply for them on his behalf. The Marlboro racing personality then managed the returns through a company he set up, Bluegrass Holdings, for his own purposes. This included a scheme with racing groups where O'Brien would lobby for them to receive grants from the pokie machine's proceeds in exchange for kickbacks. Between 2009 and 2013, Bluegrass Holdings paid out nearly $12 million in grants. The 3 men stood silently in the dock as the verdicts were delivered by Justice Dobson.
Michael O'Brien, I find you guilty on charges 11, 12 and 13 to 15 inclusive of the charges you faced. Kevin Coffey, I find you guilty on charge 11 and not guilty on charge 12. Paul Max, I find you guilty on charges 13, 14 and 15.
O'Brien was found guilty on all 5 charges, 3 relating to fraudulently obtaining licenses, 1 of mismanaging proceeds, and another of lying to Internal Affairs. Paul Max was found guilty of 3 charges of dishonestly obtaining gambling licenses. A former Department of Internal Affairs employee, Kevin Coffey, was found guilty of 1 charge of lying to the department, but not guilty of controlling the proceeds on Bluegrass Holdings' behalf. O'Brien's lawyer, Bruce Squire, asked that his client be released on bail pending sentencing.
He is married with 2 young children, but his wife is she is Indonesian, and she's presently in Indonesia with a family member who is having significant health difficulties. So he is at the moment the sole carer of his 2 children.
But Justice Dobson refused the request and remanded all 3 men in custody until sentencing, which will be on July the 13th. O'Brien's father, Patrick O'Brien, a former New Zealand harness racing chairman, was originally facing charges but was removed from the trial in its early stages due to serious ill health. For Checkpoint, Paloma Magoni.